Hi, this is Chris with Christopher Turner Yoga. I want to welcome you to my 10-day meditation course. This program is intended for people who are new to meditation, or maybe if you only done a little bit of meditation in the past and want to rekindle your practice. But over the next 10 days, I'm going to introduce you to various ways to meditate, a few different ways to focus during a meditation practice to try to really bring yourself to a more centered space. And I'm also going to introduce a few basic concepts from yoga philosophy that really relate to meditation. I'm a yoga teacher first and foremost, but I know from my yoga practice, from my yoga studies, that yoga itself is really about meditation. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which were written about 2,300 years ago, in the very beginning of the sutras, he asked the question, what is yoga? And his answer in Sanskrit is Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which translates to calming the fluctuations of the mind. So the practice of yoga, whether it's movement through asanas or stillness and yoga postures or breath work or meditation, really all has the same goal, and that's to still the fluctuations of the mind, to really calm the mind. And I know a lot of people come to meditation thinking that they cannot do it, that they cannot stop their mind. And the fact is that nobody can stop their mind, even experienced meditators. You know, maybe the Dalai Lama or people who have been meditating for years and years and years can have a sense of that. But the reality is what we're doing is not really stopping the mind. We're trying to become more aware and more focused in the present moment. We're trying to become truly present with what's right here and right now. So we're not allowing the mind to control us. I've heard it said the mind is a lot like a roommate that won't shut up. And the mind is just always going, whether you're an experienced meditator or not. But the focus of meditation is to try not to hang on to those thoughts that the mind is throwing out, whether they're worries about the future or regrets about the past, or just mundane things, thinking about what you need to do later today. The mind just is constantly taking us away from the present moment. So what I'm going to try to do with you here is just to try to teach you through various techniques to just be aware of the present moment. And you're going to keep having the mind coming up with things. The mind is always going to go, but you keep bringing yourself back to focusing on the breath or focusing on your body or various other things that we can focus on to just try to be present, because that's really what it's all about. So I want you to try, if you can, to commit to doing this 10 days in a row, to do this practice, this whole course, one day after the next. And I feel like it's important when you're trying to establish a practice to just really get into the frequency of it. Because if you do day one and then wait a few days to do the second class, you might get something out of it, but you're not going to really feel the way that meditating on a daily basis can just change the way you think throughout the rest of your day. It's really about just becoming more aware of how our thoughts really put a filter between us and the world. The more we're present with things, the more we can really be objective in our lives. So anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'm going to show you a few different ways to get comfortable in meditation and offer you some options based on really your flexibility, your body type, because it's very important to just be comfortable. If you're in pain, you're probably not going to be getting a lot out of meditation. So yeah, let's get going with that. When starting a meditation practice, I think it's important to create a space for that practice. And I'm talking about a physical space, not just the emotional space, the temporal space, the time in your day. But I think it's important to have a little spot, a little corner little nook in your house and your room, wherever you're at, that you only use for meditation. So it could be just a spot on your bookcase where you sit in front of that spot, and that you only sit in that spot when you're meditating. And I think it's important to just create that sort of space so that you know when you're there that you're going to be in a certain sort of energy. If you're just sitting at your desk and trying to meditate, you're used to just go at your desk or constantly having things running around in your mind, then you're probably not going to get the most out of it. But if you just turn around and turn another direction in your office and find a little space, a little corner that is just for meditating, then I think you'll start to be able to drop into that meditative space the more you practice. So having said that, I wanted to show you 3 different ways to get into a position to meditate. I think it's important when we're meditating, first and foremost, to have good posture so that we're not sitting back in a chair sort of rounding like this. A lot of meditation practices that I'll show you will involve breathing, that will involve really focusing on the breath, or at least being present with the breath. So it's important that our spine isn't collapsed around our belly so that we don't have room to breathe. If we have good upright posture, it's easier for the diaphragm to move down and for the lungs to move down, so we can breathe more easily. And it's just also better energy in the spine and better on the body, and you're less likely to have aches and pains and whatever else. So if you have any serious mobility issues, if you have difficulty sitting upright, sitting straight up in a chair, you can always meditate lying down. And if you have trouble getting on the ground, you can do it on a bed. I suggest, if you're going to be lying down in a meditation posture, to take on, in yoga it's called shavasana. And if you can, if it's comfortable, just turn your palms up, allow your feet to fall out, and bring your shoulder blades just a little bit underneath you. Try to make your neck really long. So it's just a nice open posture. And again, this will give you room to breathe. So if you are able to sit in a chair comfortably for the duration of a meditation, I encourage you to sit on the front of a chair, nice and tall. So again, if you're sitting back like this, ultimately it's not bad for you throughout your day, but in a meditation practice, you're just not going to be able to breathe as deeply because the lower back is rounded. So sit up nice and tall on a chair and really press your sits bones down into the chair and try to grow tall in your spine, but do that effortlessly. It shouldn't be like you're really rigid and trying to be as tall as you can. Just try to grow tall, but make it almost feel like your body is just floating in space. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can meditate sitting on, I'm going to use a yoga bolster. You can also use a yoga block. There's something called a zafu, which is a meditation cushion that's used, I believe it's a Buddhist cushion, but you can find a zafu online. So it's good to really sit up on something unless you're incredibly flexible throughout your hips. Because if you're sitting on the floor with nothing underneath your bum, more than likely you're going to be rounding the back. Almost all of us end up rounding the back if we're sitting flat on the ground. So if you can sit nice and tall on a cushion, this is a great place to be. Wherever you're at, I think there's various ways you can leave your hands, whatever feels comfortable. Some people just place one hand on top of the other in their lap with their palms up. Some people place hands on knees. I like to do what's called chin mudra, and it doesn't really mean anything to me. It's just placing my fingers together and placing them on my knees, and then sitting nice and tall. So those are your seating positions, seating options, or lying options. So find yourself in a comfortable position and we'll get going. For this first day's meditation, we're simply going to be following the breath, and I'll walk you through that in just a little bit, just get you started. But before we get started on this first day, I wanted to let you know we will have 10 minutes of total silence. At that point, when that time begins, I'm going to ring my trusty little Tibetan bowl to tell you that that time is started. And then again, at the end of that 10 minutes, I'll ring the bowl to sort of bring us out of the meditation. So throughout this, again, as I said earlier in the intro, you're gonna have thoughts that come up. They will creep in. The whole point of this is just to try to keep coming back to your breath for this meditation, just focusing on noticing the breath in your body, noticing the present moment. And the thoughts will come up. You don't have to beat yourself up over having thoughts. They come up all the time, even for experienced meditators. You just acknowledge those thoughts and let them go. And as soon as you notice you're thinking, just come back to the breath. Just keep coming back to the breath. Try to keep coming back to the present moment. So once the meditation starts, I'm going to fade out the screen, so you're not seeing me. You'll see a little pretty nature scene, and then I'll come back at the end of our meditation. So yeah, here we go. Go ahead and find yourself in that comfortable seat. Work out any kinks. And again, try to sit nice and tall, but make it effortless, like your spine is just floating up in space, almost like there's an imaginary string pulling up your spine from the back of your head. And just take a moment to take stock. Try to be present in your whole body. Notice anything that you're feeling right now in this moment. And just take one nice big cleansing breath with me. So nice big inhale. And a nice complete exhale. All the air out. And then come back to an easy breath. So throughout this meditation, see if you can just focus on what your breath is doing in your body. If you want, it's helpful to follow the breath in through your nostrils and down the back of your throat and down into your lungs. And then as you exhale, follow that same path out. You can also focus on just noticing the way that your breath is moving your body. Notice the rise and fall of your chest as you're breathing. But throughout this practice, try not to force the breath. Just try to allow it to happen in whatever natural pace it's going at. Try to just witness the breath. And just keep bringing yourself back to the breath every time thoughts come up. So slowly blinking your eyes open if they're not already open. And just move around a little bit. Circle your spine around like it's a top. It's real slowly and gently. One direction and then the other. Coming back to center, reach your arms up. Really nice and tall, nice morning stretch. And then back down and around. Really stretching out your chest. Bring your hands into prayer. Namaste. So if you're not aware, namaste is just a sign of respect, of gratitude to yourself and those around you. So for me, certainly it's not anything religious. It's just a greeting. It's just a sign of respect. So if that was difficult for you, try to be patient with it. Sometimes it's hard when you first start meditating to just get comfortable. Sometimes it can be painful just sitting tall. That should get easier, or try to find ways that to make yourself more comfortable in your meditation. Please stick with it. And just as a practice today, this meditation was really focusing on following the breath. Just take little moments throughout the day whenever you think about it, and just think about your breath. Just try to witness your breath. And it can be just 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Just think about what your breath is doing in your body. And see if that makes a difference in the way you feel today. So I will see you tomorrow and day 2. So have a good day, or wherever you're at in the day. Have a good day or good night, whatever is going on in your day.